Hey guys, welcome back. So in the last couple of videos, we learned like how we can organize our code in Python using modules and packages. And in this video, we will learn another very important topic like how we can read a file and write a file in Python. Okay. So in Python, we can divide file types in three categories. One is simple like text file, and then we have a second category which is binary file, and then we have the third one which is raw binary. Typically we don't use in like front end coding. This is typically used in like back end when the file wrappers try to read and write a file to the disk. Okay, so let's get started then. Okay, so let us first learn like how we can read the files. So for file reading we simply use open method. So let us say we have a file, input is equal to open, and let us say we have a test file already there. I already created it, so you can see here. So you see here it is, we have a file and that's what we are reading. And if we simply read it, so we can simply see print file in dot read. So there are quite a few options that we can use for reading a file, but let us start with simply read. Okay, this will read all the content from the file and then simply print it. So you can see here the content that we have. Let us delete this part and let us run the code and see what we get as output. Okay, so you see it gives us the output that we have in here. Okay, so let us try to use other reading methods. So let us say we want to use this read line, then what we get. Okay, let us run and see it. So what read line does is like it reads one line at a time. Okay, and then we have another one which is called read lines. So that will read all the lines similar to the read, but it will return us a list. Okay, so let us compare all of them. So print file in dot read versus, so let us print all of them. Okay, so one important thing to notice here is like this file in is a generator. So we will see in next video like what is the difference between iterator and generator. So in Python generator, as soon as you read the data, the buffer is flushed out. Okay, so it is removed from the memory, so you don't have access to that particular data that you already accessed. Okay, that's what happened when you simply say file dot read, and then the pointer is actually went at the end of the file and you don't have anything to read. Okay, that's why we don't get anything from these two lines. So let us comment the first one and then see what we get as the second reading. So you see it gives us like one line, but this one is one line left. That's what we get as output here. Okay, so let us check the type of these what they return. Okay, so let us say type, then it gives us a bit better idea what we are getting as output. Okay, so if we read this, it gives us like it reads the whole file as a string and returns us. Sometimes you need to consider like um, you don't want to read whole file in a single string, because for example if you are doing text processing and then you need to read it like line by line, then you need these two methods, one of them to do the processing. Okay, so this is how they are different. Let's check the second one. So type, so this returns us the string, but it reads one line at a time. And the third one is simply like it reads whole file in a single list, and then you can iterate over the list. Okay, so you can see it here. So now the question is like which one you can use when. So if you have just the whole file to read once and you need the whole text in a single string, you simply read method. And if you want to read it line by line, but you don't want to preserve it for further processing, you can use read line. Or we will see another very simple method that you can use to read line by line from a file. If you want it for processing the content, you can use read lines um, for reading the whole file in one go. Okay, so let us see another way of reading the file or iterating over the file. So file in, this is actually a generator which you can access using simply for line in file in, and you can simply print line. So this is also a simple way of reading a file line by line. So you see, instead of using these methods, this is much more simpler way of iterating over a file. So you can run and see it will print the same thing. You see. So we have a new line here because print also aids a new line feed, and at the end of line we have new line appended for each and every line. If you simply say strip, it will not print new line afterwards. Okay. Okay, so now let us see like how we can use various modes. So by default, mode is read for open method, and the type is t. Okay, so by default the mode is set to RT. This is what we are doing when we don't pass anything here. So it will print the same thing. Okay. So if we are passing R, which is read, it is the file is open for reading. And if we passing R plus, we can do reading as well as writing. Okay. So let us say R plus. Okay. Now let us run. And let us try to add some text as well. So let us say text is equal to add this text to the file. Okay, and let us write it. So file in dot write and text. Okay, so to write a file, it should be opened in a particular mode. So if you simply say R, it will throw an error. Okay, the file is not open for writing. Okay, so let us do that. So you see it errors here like not writable object. But if we say R plus, it will write the content to file as well. Okay, if you open the file, you can see the content is written. One more thing is to be a bit careful is like if we run it again, it will add just after this line because we haven't added any new line in this string. So it's better to like add a new line for each and every content you are adding in the string. So if we simply say slash n, now it will add a new line at the end. So you can see like it has added, but now there is a new line. Now if I will run again, it will add here. So you see. Okay, so that is another thing that you need to be careful. And also remember another important thing is like always close the file after doing processing. So you can close file simply using close method on file object. Okay, So now let us look at like what are the different modes we can open the file in. Okay, so by default we open a file in text mode. Let us try to open it in binary mode. Okay, so let us see what it gives us. So let us comment this out and let us run it. So now you see. So earlier the text was string, now they are bytes. So in our data types we describe like how they are different. So this is like Unicode values. This is not a string. So if I will simply convert them into list, we will see the real content that is there in this line. So just convert and see it. So let us see. You see. So this H is correspond to 72 Unicode value, E is correspond to 101 and so on. So this is like the type of this, even you can print simply like type of it. You will see like what we are getting. You see. So that's binary type. So binary types is other than text, whatever you read from system, whether it's a image, it's doc file or anything other than text, whatever you read, they are binary. So we have R, which is read only, and then we have R plus, we can open it for reading as well as writing. But if the file doesn't exist, it will throw an error. Okay, so let us see that. So let us say we want to open a test one, so which is not there. So it will simply throw an error. So let us run and see it. You see, there is no file or directory. That's where it is better to use write, where you are not sure that whether the file is there or not. Okay, but be careful when we use w, it will create the file if it is not there, or if it's there, it will truncate, means it will simply remove all the content that is there. So be careful when you are, so just remember that what particular mod you are using and what it does, then it's better, you know. And then when we are saying w plus, we are saying means read as well as write. So with w, it is always like it will create a file if it doesn't exist, but it will simply truncate or delete all the content if a file with the same name already exists. Okay, so with w always check if file exists, then simply say some warning or something like that. Okay, for those cases to handle it better, like if you want to see like the content is there and you want to append it further, it's better to use simply append mode. Okay, so you can simply use a or a plus. Okay, so let us see like how we can keep the content as well as write the data. So we can use a plus mode, which will open it for reading as well as writing. But remember that it will place the pointer at the end of file. So to read it, you need to change it to the beginning of the file. So for that purpose, you need to simply use seek method. So and just place it at the beginning. Okay, and now you can run it and it will read the file, and then when it will stop, the pointer will be at the end of the file, and then when you will write it, it will add the content at the end of the file. Okay, I think that should be clear. So let us run and see it. You see, so it reads first line, its type is this, and then it converts into str list actually, and that's why you get all the characters here. And at the end, if you check this file, it added the text as well here. If you run it again, it will add another, and so on. Okay, so now I think that should be clear, like how we can read and write files in Python. Also, and also what are the various modes available in file operations. Also be careful with the encoding, so that I missed to mention there. So by default, with Python 3, encoding is UTF-8 or Unicode 8. But if the data is written in a different format, you need to use that particular encoding when you are opening the file. Otherwise, it won't be rendered, or you will get some uh, random data which won't make any sense. So you can use simply encoding, and then you can simply say UTF-8. Now it will open the file in UTF-8. By default, it will open in UTF-8, so we don't need to specify it. But for the cases where you need to specify the file encoding, you can use the encoding argument to specify it. Okay, I think that should be clear. And in the next video, we will talk another very important topic, like what is generator and what is iterator, and how they are different, and when to use what, like when we need to use iterator or when we need to use generator. Okay. So thanks for watching. Bye for now. Take care. See you in the next.